I tell you, Carruthers, I'm thoroughly parched. I wonder, in these wild parts, there may be an establishment where one might partake of cocktails and such like. I doubt it, Francis, I really do. Oh, I say, you're totally wrong, Carruthers. Look at this tiki hut. A tiki hut has miraculously appeared before us, with the glass in. Here we are, we're at the shed build. Banged about 10 hours on it today. But not just on that, Mummy Farmer came down as well, and so did Granny and the boys for about an hour, but they were being a nuisance, so Granny took them for a nice play day and left me and Mummy Farmer to it. Mummy Farmer's been busy as well. She's been cracking on, putting the netting on. I'll just give you a little bit of a toot around. It's Sunday evening, Sunday the 12th or something like that, I think it is. I've just cleared the weeds out, I can't speak again. I've just cleared the weeds out from around the base, because the base is going to be sandtext painted, and I'm going to take those fence panels out as well and properly paint them. So the base and the uprights are going to be sandtext. Not just mine, I'm going to do Mick's as well next door. Magical Mick. His sister's going to paint the fence bit, the fence panels, but what I'll do is I'll take them out, because they just lift out, and I'll paint all the cementy stony of her. But here we are, boys and girls. It's not totally and completely and utterly finished, but it's got doors on it now, and it's got windows in, and it's got that sort of subdued lighting, secondary lighting, natural lighting from the conservatory. Oh, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. You know the stuff, I've mentioned it loads of times, that stuff there. Yeah? It'll come to me in a minute, that. Open the door to the establishment. Oh, what wonderful, wonderful landscaped gardens they have. If only it were completed. So there, here we are, this is the shed. I'm quite chuffed, but it's not completely and utterly and totally finished, which is I nearly said a swear word then. It's a pain, anyway, that I've just not had the time to totally and utterly complete it. I'm going to have to apologise to God for that. And I don't mean you, Tony. I mean the real God. Although I did promise Tony that it would be finished as well. UK, here we go, Tony. Top banana. Toppermost banana after what he's done for us last night. You know what you've done. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers for that. Absolutely brilliant, that. So, thank you. Now they're doing a little challenge as well, the grow the biggest cabbage challenge. They just get a standard little cabbage plant. You don't get to pick which plant you want, they just pick one at random for you. And I think I'm going to call her Leggy. But we'll see how we go. And then you sort of give it its own space and create its own little environment for it to do best bet. Now I've seen them use like fish bones, actually put the bones of salmon and stuff underneath them. I want to research how you do cabbages. I don't expect to win it this year, of course, but I think a lot of people are having a go. There's about 20 little or 24 little cabbage pots like that were left out at the front with cabbage challenge over the top of it, and they've all gone. So out of the 67 plots, a third of them ish have had a go at it, or are going to be having a go at it. I met last year's winner. He said he was going to sell me some tips. He's not going to give them us, but he'll sell us some tips. Obviously there's still some painting to be done on this, but we have got doors on now. So if we just have a quick look at this, this is quite tight, so I have to put, this is just a temporary one, this really. Well, yes, elbow it and just push, pull it across like that, and then if she comes, she opens up. Not cased the back of anything as yet. Just close that door behind us. I'll put it to. So yeah, here we are. Can't really get in the full the full majesty of the establishment, but because you can't quite fit it all in. There's my chair. Now there's some of the roofing adhesive, and a load more of the timber sheet. The Ron Seal one coat red cedar, which I probably don't don't need. I mean, I'm going to do the fences. I'm going to do all the cages and everything that we've got outside. They're all going to be done, yeah. But I don't particularly need them all. And this is the other door that's going to eventually lead out to where we're going to have our outdoor living space, the patio area. Oh, by the way, I've got one of the little lights up there. Don't really do that much, but it takes the dimness out. Obviously, all of these are going to be filled from outside, so it's going to be sort of like side fascia, flashing, fascias, soffits, and the roof. Well, before I put the fascias on, the roofing felt's going to go on with the adhesive and everything. But it's watertight as it is. We had a proper bad downpour last night, and there's not a drop of damp in here at all. Apart from that, where my nigger spilled his pop before, all his pop. Yeah, and it's absolutely water. As far as I can tell, it's watertight, which is brilliant. It's a proper bonus, that. As far as I can tell, it is watertight. If rain does get in, it'll be coming in, obviously, under those eaves there that haven't been clad off yet. But it'd have to sort of come in sideways, really, because there's an overhang of a good 12 inches all the way around the structure, which should keep the majority of it out. But obviously that's going to be completed. Although there will be some venting that's going to go in. I'm going to put small areas of vent above there, probably about 6 inches of vent there, and a vent there. Vent on all 4 of the elevations to it. You know, because that's what you do. Okay. Right. So here's the other door, which eventually will lead to our beautiful seated dining al fresco area. Which is currently a big pile of rubbish with an S. Some of that's still going to be used. That's going to be used for internal shelving and box works, bit of cupboard area, storage basically inside the shed. As is potentially the OSB that I've got left. I must have bought far too much OSB, if you can look there. These are going to be for the soffits, and so are these. These are the long lengths. These are about I think they're 8 feet lengths, these ones, of 9mm, and they're, I believe, 4 of the 9mm, 4 foot lengths of the 9mm, because they didn't have enough of this, basically. And these are cut to 1 foot, which I have tried up on the shed. So they're going to go underneath here, yeah, as a boxing. And then I'm going to use this OSB, this painted OSB. I'm going to cut that stuff down that's there, and I'm going to use that to fill the gaps. And then there's going to be a fascia of the 4x1 going on there and on there and on all 4. A bit like the brew shed that's up at the top, the big brew shed, which you haven't seen, I don't think, yet. But yeah, we've done some more netting up. Mrs. Farmer did that today, and it's good. It's all right. I'm going to sort of tinker with it a little bit tomorrow, just to get it all, you know, with the fan, to get the fan effect and everything going on down there, and try and get a cane going there. She didn't want to do it because they're a bit offset. Those they're not all on the same level. But our neighbours from next door, Sarah and John, have been down, and they've done quite a bit, and they've given us permission. Because I said to her, I said, we'll make this path wider, because it's only 1 foot wide and it needs to be 2 feet really for a proper path. It's a trip hazard basically as you're going up there, and it's difficult to get your barrow through and stuff like that. So she has given us permission to take 12 inches, or sorry, 30 centimetres, 12 inches if you want, off the end of the raised beds, which I have done for her, and dug it out, and the soil that I've dug out I've put into this bottom bed for her as well. But I was talking to her husband, and he's going to bring down some flags. He's going to try and get some flags from work, which are going to be 2x3 flags, and we'll sort that out next week, hopefully, and we'll have a proper good path going up. We're not taking it all the way up to the top, but it will be being taken from the gate up here. Obviously I've got to shorten these. I've been doing that this week. and rearranging her netting and everything for her. Up to about here actually, yeah, where the leaks start, because that's the only area where it's a problem really, because this part's pretty clear. I'm just going to leave that, maybe pea gravel it or something like that just to make it up. And then with these ones that I'm taking out, when we replace them, these will be used on the path if they're in any good nick anyway, as like a maybe crazy paving or something like that. But I'm probably going to put these here in this bit at the front of the shed, and that's where the water butt's going to go when the guttering comes off from here, drops down here into the water. But forget-me-nots are going to go down there. Going to beg, borrow and steal all the forget-me-nots that people don't want on the plots, and we're going to place them in there. And this is going to be the patio area, which is of course all going to be flagged and everything. We're going to have plantings and flowers and everything going all the way around there, and it'll be a mixture of edibles and flowers, maybe some wildflowers,